And then of course we didn't get Keyshawn Davis in the main event against Edwin De Los Santos. Give me your thoughts on him not making weight.
Well, it's not good, and to say the least. And what's troubling about it is Devin Haney, for example. Before we get to Gervonta, like I was gonna mention Gervonta because he's looked upon sometimes as the problem child, the bad boy, right? But Tank, I think he only missed weight back at 130 pounds against Ferenzas on the Mayweather-McGregor undercard, and he was criticized for it. He lost his title. Ever since then, he's made weight every time he's had to. And Devin Haney, Keyshawn, if you outgrew the division, right? If Keyshawn Davis really did outgrow the division, but so did Devin Haney by the time he fought Lomachenko. Devin definitely outgrew lightweight, but Devin, to his credit, boiled down to that weight limit and made the weight and fought Lomachenko at the 135 pounds. This is your first title defense. These problems shouldn't be popping up this early into a championship run, and you didn't miss it. I mean, we deservedly dragged Ryan Garcia for what he did in the Haney fight at 140. He was 143.2. You were heavier than Ryan was against Haney. So it's not a good look. Part of me didn't want to get on here and dogpile on Keyshawn, because on my own channel had a couple videos with our guy Raheem, and we kept it real about what's not good about what Keyshawn did. It's Monday now, right, Sean? And definitely everybody wants to hear what you think about it and pull no punches. But it's Monday now. Everybody's gotten their rocks off on, getting on him, deservedly so. Look, I just want
to give the fans the perspective of the fighter, and just so that everybody understands. And I know there was other things like whose fault is it, all these other things. So real quick, just from the Hall of Famers perspective, and I'm not going to say which Hall of Famer said it, but he said, you don't outgrow a weight class overnight. He's 23, 24 years old. He's too young to outgrow the weight. I said, yeah, and if he weighed in on Friday 4 pounds overweight, and he said he was working his butt off all night, that means he had to at least have been 7 pounds at least over the night before weight. You shouldn't be that far away from your weight class the night before a fight. The way I did it, I like to be going to sleep a pound or 2 pounds overweight. A little later on in my career, I would get a little lackadaisical, and I would go to sleep 3 pounds over, sleep off a pound and a half, and wake up and just do a little bit more work to get the rest off. Obviously, everybody saw that I was in jeopardy of not making weight against Dennis Ugas. I'm gonna real quick give everybody that perspective as well, but I want to make sure that everybody understands when he's saying I outgrew the weight and I was already moving up to 140 and things like that. He quit before he quit the weigh-ins Friday. He probably quit on making weight Wednesday or Thursday.
And he expected to get his way, you think, Sean? And that because he's fighting in his hometown and he's Keyshawn and Top Rank has set up this fight, that De Los Santos is going to take this check and he's going to have to fight me anyway. Tough shit.
More than likely. So here, let me get this story to everybody real quick. And you can go on YouTube and you type it in, Shawn Porter making weight against Ugas, whatever. And you can see everything play out on the YouTube. I watched it the other day. I was mind blown that they all got it, right? So listen, I was losing like a pound, like at night, and I'm used to losing more. So I was bothered. I'm mad, frustrated. I'm not gonna tell that part, but I started my protocol a little later than I should have started my protocol. I'll keep it that way, right? Thursday, and I was already only losing a pound a day, like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Thursday comes around, and it's still coming off slow. And I started to get mad. I started to get frantic. This is a true story. I started to say, I don't even care. I don't even want to make the weight. It sucks. I hate it. It hurts. I'm tired of doing this anyway. Why am I still going to 147? Every negative thing, keep that in your minds. Every negative thing you could think about making weight, I had those thoughts. This is what happens when the brain shuts down, the body shuts down. If you don't believe me, what happens to somebody who's in the hospital? When their brain shuts down, the body shuts down. Okay. So when you are in a negative place the way that I was, and I shut down mentally, now, real talk, I'm losing half an ounce. I'm losing 0.25 now. And I'm getting even more mad and agitated and all that kind of stuff. The morning of the weigh-in, and I had already worked my butt off on Friday night and all that kind of stuff, or Thursday night and all that kind of stuff. The morning of the weigh-in, I think I was 2 pounds over or 3 pounds over, and we went back at it. And my dad says, "Hey, this is a true story, y'all. My dad says they're gonna give us 2 hours. We're just gonna go get on scale, and then we'll go get the rest off." That's what my dad said to me, and he said it just like that, real calm and cool. He didn't know. In my mind, I gave up on making weight. I don't even care. I don't even want to make weight. I got on the scale. I'm like, yep, that's it. So, my dad said he said, we got 2 hours. What are you doing? I'm like, I'm going through the motions because I don't want to do it. We get in the car and we headed to the 24-hour fitness. And now my dad can see my energy. He said, yo, what are you doing? And I said, nothing. Like, he's like, do you even want to make the weight? I said, no. And he goes off. And when he goes off, I'm just sitting there, just taking it, and I don't give a damn, right? And Marcus Watson was with us. My dad said, Marcus, you better talk to your boy. Now, the rest of the ride was like 5 minutes, something like that left. Marcus talked to me the whole way, and he actually turned me on. I'm turned off of making weight. He turned me on. I go to the gym. When
Was
I'm
it something
actually,
about money that turned you on?
I don't even remember. It was Marcus. It was just, I think he helped me realize that I'm letting people down. You know what I mean? That's not me. Anyway, he turned me on. I start working it off and all that kind of stuff. And I actually care now until we get back to the venue. And when we get back to the venue, they wipe me off and all that kind of stuff. I get on the scale. They tell me, y'all go watch it. And I won't tell the rest of the story from here, but y'all can go watch the rest. But here's the thing. Key point. I get on the scale. They say you get one chance. I get on the scale. I'm 0.2 over. I get off. There's big roar. It's done. It's done. It's commotion. Wipe him off some more. Wipe him off some more. I get back on. 0.1 up. 0.2 over again. I get down and commotion. My dad says, Sean, you need to take a deep breath and you need to exhale and then get on the scale. I looked at my dad. Said, I already did that. He said, no, you need to take a deep breath, let it out, and get back on the scale. It's on YouTube. I love the fact that it's on YouTube.
Oh, I tweeted it. It's a viral tweet I had. I was there, so I remember.
Took a deep breath, mentally wanted to make the weight. I took a deep breath, I got on the scale, and I made the weight. It's a mental thing. He gave up a long time ago. So here's the thing. Here's my point of all this. A lot of us have it all. A lot of us have some of it. You got some guys that's just all speed, some guys that's just all power, some guys that's got a mixture of it all that kind of stuff. But what takes you from here to here is this right here. When he doesn't make weight and he's 4 pounds over, it's right here for Keyshawn. So to your point, Zittel, I'm gonna let you take over, but that's what I want to do. Keyshawn, you got to grab yourself here, man, and you got to grab yourself here in your heart. I hear you talk a lot about your faith and where you are opposed to where you could be, where you used to be. Don't lose that. Don't allow circumstances. Don't allow the moment of life. Don't let anything get in the way of what it takes to be great. And what I mean when I say that is don't allow anything to get in the way here. That's what I got to say about that.
Yeah, and part of me wonders too, God, or if you don't believe in God, like me and Sean, life sometimes makes these things happen to save you from something down the road, or to teach you a lesson now when you're younger, so that you can use it down the road and get to where you want to get to in life, or where you should get to in life, what your destiny is. So, I think everybody said what they've had to say about why it was disappointing by Keyshawn Davis to do this, but let's not lie either. Let's not act like his whole career is over now. I mean, again, you don't want to let him off easy. And part of me felt bad when this happened, Sean, because when he came on the show, when he came on the couch a couple months ago, of course, we're grateful for these guys' time to come through, especially after they win a big fight. And but I felt like not that I could see this coming, that he would blow weight and get into an altercation after blowing weight, but you could feel that hubris a little bit come over him. Some of that success getting to him quickly. And part of me wishes I would have kept it real about that. Maybe that helps keep him locked in,
Yeah,
instead,
yeah, yeah.
like, oh, really? You think I'm off track? Watch me make this weight and knock out De Los Santos so I can shut you and anybody who thinks that up.
Right.
But going forward, I think that he's still got a lot of skills. If he goes up to 140, he could make a lot of big noise happen there. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I think he's still going to have a bright future in boxing, but I know his promoter is going to be pissed off. I know, and you found a way to sell out arenas in Norfolk. You got to wonder if these same people will show up the next time he's having a show there. If they'll trust him and want to come.
I gotta call a spade a spade.
Yeah.
And this isn't. I'm not doing this for a click or anything like that. But when Tank takes that knee, and I don't even know if his knee actually hit the canvas, but he takes the knee and then he goes over to the corner to wipe his eyes. I said, you spoiled because hold on, Pooper. Yes, I said you spoiled. At what point are you gonna, wipe your eyes, wipe your hair, anything to prevent that? You're spoiled. You want to go to your corner and get pampered at that point. That's exactly what it was. And I'm gonna say the same thing about Keyshawn. You're spoiled. There's no way fighting in your hometown you can't make a deal with Edwin De Los Santos so that you can get in the ring and perform for your family and perform for your hometown. That's all arrogance and selfishness, which to me amounts to being spoiled. You felt like, because to me, there's no deal that couldn't have been accepted. They talking about 40%, give them the 40% and do what you do. They talking 50%, give them the 50 and do what you do.
Yep.
You got to do whatever it takes now to make this fight happen, because at the end of the day, it ain't even about the weight no more. It's about what Top Rank did for you on ESPN in your hometown, and you have to give it to them.
Your honor.
Yeah, and I really wish that these fighters had somebody who could speak that kind of sense to them to help them understand. You got to bite this bullet, big dog. This is your fault. This is our fault. This is the whole team's fault, and we gonna bite this bullet. And let's go out there and show up and show out. So the other side of everything is what happens after the fight, and we don't need to spend a lot of time on that. Like you said, it's all been said, I think, at this point. But I just, I'm kind of sad for the DB3, because I think that the way that they operate as a unit, which is beautiful, but you can't make mistakes as a unit. You know what I mean? And I hate it. That's what I hated. I hated that the unit made a mistake, not just one of them. And Keyshawn, you being the leader, even though you're not the oldest, you being the leader, you got to be the one that prevents the mistakes, not lead them.